All right, here we go. John McClain, Hall of Fame columnist with us, Craig Smoke and David Smoke. John, thank you for your time. Opening week of the NFL season. It kind of all migrates together, high school, then college, and now the NFL. And what were your thoughts about the report out of Kansas City about Travis Kelce's knee?
Well, when it comes to injuries, it's such a long season. If Travis Kelce can't play Thursday night, that's taken away it's like taking away an arm, Patrick Mahomes' arm. But you know what? If anybody can play with one arm, it's him. They're still going to be favored. They don't have Kelce. They won't have Chris Jones. And there's no need to try to force Kelce to play because it's such a long season. Everybody wrote him off last year as a Super Bowl contender after they traded Tyreek Hill. Only went 14-3 and won another Super Bowl. So it's a long season. If he doesn't play, it's not the end of the world. If they lose to Detroit, it'd be such a good deal for Detroit. Wouldn't be on the magnitude of Colorado beating TCU, but if Detroit were to go into Kansas City, it would be a huge story in the NFL.
Long way to go, John, obviously, but what did you make of Neon Deion, being out there, not only just getting the attention, but getting the win, most importantly, and just how much that just launches Colorado further into, the public eye?
I watched Matt Rule in Nebraska hoping they would win because I have great respect for him. And they were favored, I think, 9.5 at Colorado. And then after Colorado beat TCU, the Buffaloes are now favored. Think about all those Colorado fans. And I'm guessing there's some out there that bet on the Buffaloes when they were 9-point underdogs. And it's looking pretty good right now if you got your money down early. I thought it was great for college football. It was great for Colorado, great for Deion. His son, Shador, played tremendously. But, man, his receivers, and that includes the running back and tight end, they had 273 yards after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that before. Travis Hunter, what an amazing athlete. I can't imagine he can keep that up. But it's great. And I've been talking on my shows every day. When Jerry Jones is a patient man when it comes to his head coach. Everybody knows that. But he won 3 Super Bowls with 2 college coaches, Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer. So would he consider Deion if Deion can win at Colorado like he did at Jackson State when he has a coach's opening? Is Metroplex big enough for Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders' egos? But Jerry would be 82, 83 at that point. Maybe 81 next year, but I don't think so because I think the Cowboys are going to be real good and win the NFC East. And I believe that there would be a clamoring of fans and media to hire Deion if he continues to do well. And if he can win the way he has on the college level, what's to keep him from winning the way he has at the NFL level?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that didn't feel good about it. I think the over-under was 3.5 wins. There's a long way to go. But
it's going to be really funny if he turns around and loses in Nebraska.
No, it would be great for Matt Rule, and I'd be thrilled. But at the same time, whether that happens remains to be seen. So the first week of the NFL season and the trends that start from it, it's one game now of 17 rather than what used to even be, 12. But any particular storylines that you are more focused in on than maybe others as we head to this first week?
I look back at last season, 49ers got killed in the championship game. They've been getting to the championship game, and they didn't have a quarterback. They had to play Josh Johnson. The Eagles beat them. So can the 49ers get over the hump with Brock Purdy if he can stay healthy? And when I look around the NFC, there's always talk about coaches on the hot seat. And I think Cowboys, because the NFC East winner never repeats as the NFC East winner, I'm going with the Cowboys over the Eagles, because the Super Bowl loser, other New England, never goes back to the Super Bowl the next year since the 90s. I'm not picking Philadelphia for the Super Bowl. I think I'm going to pick San Francisco and Baltimore because I want to be different with Baltimore, and I'm going to pick Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl. I've got a column I'm working on right now with all my picks for sportsradio610.com where there's no paywall. And I think no champion is repeated since the Patriots after those 2 seasons. or 04 season, whichever one it was, I think the odds are against the Chiefs, whether Travis Kelce and Chris Jones play 16 games. So that's why I'm not picking them. But there's always great storylines like Detroit. And Detroit's won one playoff game since 50. And I think with Dan Campbell, it would be a great story for them to do well. But the NFL needs the blue bloods, like the Cowboys and the Steelers. They need those teams to do well. The AFC North and the AFC East and the NFC East, my goodness. The record it'll take to win those games, Peter King in his Monday Morning America column, excuse me, Big Jacksonville, have the best record in the AFC because they play the AFC South and NFC South. The good teams in the two East and the AFC North are going to beat each other up. And one of them will probably win the Super Bowl. But a team like Jacksonville could fool around and get home field advantage. I'm not picking it. I'm not buying it. I think Tennessee might beat them out for the AFC South. But there's some really good teams in AFC are going to be 2 or 3 games over 500 and not make the playoffs because it's so talented and so competitive. And, of course, we've all just watched the Aaron Rodgers show on HBO. And so now we're going to be seeing Rodgers almost 24/7 on ESPN and NFL Network. And I got to admit, I'm fascinated by the Rodgers to the Jets story and the Jordan Love. Can he step up and do what Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers have done since going back to 1992?
So, John, you're clearly very high on Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. That's who the Texans get right here in the very first weekend on the road in Baltimore. I know we've talked to you throughout the offseason about the Texans and DeMeco Ryans, and I saw Jalen Petre's named a captain, which is great. But, you know, so often it's like, what are the expectations? But, like, what is, you know, kind of the feel around what would be considered progress and a step forward and, you know, things go in the right direction for the Houston franchise?
Since they beat Buffalo in the playoffs after the 2019 season, blew a 24-0 lead at Arrowhead Stadium, they won 4-4 in 3 games. I think if they could win 6, that would be tremendous progress for DeMeco Ryans. Rookie quarterback, whether it's Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, whether it's C.J. Stroud, they're going to be up, they're going to be down. And the Texans will be that way. They're fortunate to be playing the NFC South. Unfortunate to be playing AFC North. And so I think if they could win 6 games, Craig, people would see progress and go, aha, this team is on its way.
All right, got to ask you about the University of Houston. I love their jerseys. The Love You Blue throwback. They won in a very nice win against UTSA and Jeff Traylor. Your thoughts about those jerseys?
They got so much publicity out of those jerseys. There's so many people like me that turned it on to watch, to see the jerseys. And truthfully, it wasn't exactly the Columbia blue that the Oilers wore, but everybody thinks today light blue is Columbia blue. And they had to ask the NFL for permission. The NFL turned them down, but they did it anyway. And the NFL told them they better not be selling any of those jerseys, and they didn't. I think they should wear them at their first home game every year because they won. They got so much positive attention. Had a great video about it, well narrated by Carl Lewis. They did it in a tremendous manner, and it was, you know, their debut. They're in the Big 12. It's what they've been wanting since they were left on the outside looking in. And I don't think they'll be very good, and they may not get any more publicity like this the rest of the year. But for that day, it was special.
So for simply having similar uniforms, the NFL can step in like that, huh?
Oh, yeah. The NFL do anything they want.
Man, yeah.
And down here, the Oilers, now the Titans, own the rights to anything Oiler related, including the colors, the uniform, and everything else. The Texans have been dying in their new uniforms, which will be unveiled at the 2024 draft, to have a tribute to Houston. They say to Houston with some blue in it, light blue, like Columbia blue, some part of their uniform. And if I don't think they can do it, but if it may turn into uniform wars.
Well, that explains. I saw a lot of Houston fans that were complaining about the lack of merchandise that was immediately available, and I think they do have some that's coming, according to, I believe, Chris Pesman. But that at least explains it a little bit more of like, oh, wait a second, there's actually like they might have got warned to not do that. So, but yeah, very cool.
If they have, Craig, if they have anything that they try to sell that has that blue, the NFL will be on them like think on you know what.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
All right, John, the Astros beat the hell out of the Rangers. This has been kind of building up. Texas is in a free fall, have been now for probably since the last time they played the Astros. But this is a hell of a race with the Mariners, the Astros, and the Rangers. And I think the Rangers are sliding where they might not even make the damn playoffs.
As you guys know, because you follow the Rangers, their bullpen is historically bad.
It's horrible.
The Astros have a really good bullpen. And but if the Rangers win tonight and Seattle loses again, they're all three tied for first place. So the Astros are 35 and 34 at home. They've been terrible. They're 43 and 27 on the road. So they just got swept by the Yankees. And I write Astro columns on our website, sportsradio610.com, and I just eviscerated them. But I said I can't wait to get to Arlington, and now I'm going to write after they play this series, if they win 2 or 3 or sweep them, which I don't think they will, don't let them come home. Put up roadblocks on I-45. Make them go to San Diego instead of the Padres coming here, because it's unexplainable how bad they've been at home despite sellout crowds, great attendance. And the last 7 games in Seattle, 3 Astros, 3 Rangers. If the Mariners can't take advantage of that schedule, they don't deserve to win this division or make the playoffs.
That's it?
No, that's not it. There's another team we have to ask about.
No. I was trying to avoid it.
Nice talking to you guys. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it as always.
You're not going to end it with sick.
Yeah, John.
My mama told me you can't say something good.
Don't say it at all.
Yeah. That says it all right there.
Keep my mouth shut.
That says enough, John. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you guys very much. Can't wait to talk to you next week after Baylor pulls that big upset of Utah.
There you go.
There you go. I knew he had to do it.